Hello and welcome to Ted's Shed. You remember in one of the previous videos I took the gearbox out of this Morris Z fan, and obviously I was a little bit worn about the play in the back of the gearbox, so I've cleaned it down on the cleaning station outside and brought it back in, giving it once over, and today I'm just going to run through the gearbox itself and what I found and what I think may be the problem. I hope you enjoy it. See you later. Okay, I hope you can see okay. A little bit awkward to set the camera up. You're actually on a bit of scrap pipe hanging out of the voice at the moment, so let's see how we go. Right, as you can see, the gearbox has had a bit of a wash. Must have taken about 1.5 pounds of mud oil mixture off the outside of it yesterday, and I've given it a cursory wash round with some paraffin just to make it a bit more pleasant to handle, and happily it doesn't look too bad inside at all. What I have found, which seems unusual to me, I don't know, maybe somebody else out there can tell me whether this is normal. In the rear end of the gearbox here, well, and in the front where the main bearings sit, there is a steel sleeve let into the aluminium casting. Now it looks like it could be original, it's nicely made, but this rear one is quite a loose fit, and I suspect that was the cause of most of my movement issues, because that was quite free, as you can see there, to move in and out, which I think was giving me a problem with the rear bearing moving around. The front one's much tighter, so that's good. I'll probably Loctite them in when I'm ready to reassemble it. The front and rear bearings are the same. These are the bearings. They don't seem too bad at all, really. There's a little bit of wear in them, but really and truly they'd probably go again. I'm going to put some new ones in. I've ordered a couple off the club. Apart from that, the only other real wear that I can see is on the lay shaft here. At the rear of the lay shaft there's a bit of wear, but it's not terrible by any means. So I should probably polish that up on the lathe and pop it back in. But I will replace the bushes that sit in the lay shaft here and here, because this rear one is quite worn. So I'll do a little video on how to make an extractor to pull these out a bit later. So yeah, apart from that, it doesn't look too bad. Apart from a clean up, make some new joints front and back, and for the lid, and then stick it back together again. I did think I'd say, if anybody's interested on how these gearboxes work, because it took me a while to work it out when I was younger, and I find it quite interesting, to be honest. You don't realise, or I'd never realised, that the main shaft that runs through the gearbox isn't solid. There's a break in it here, and the two halves can rotate independently. So when the engine's running and the clutch is engaged, the drive comes in the input shaft there and drives the lay shaft constantly. And these gears are in constant mesh. That's first gear, second gear and third gear. And they're constantly running together. And what happens is, when you're in first, which is this gear here, this slides and engages directly with the teeth. So when you're crunching first gear, when you're trying to do a second to first gear, it does actually crunch the teeth of the gear itself. But when you're in second or in third, all that's actually moving is that part there, because that part is on a spline on the main shaft, on the rear half of the main shaft, on the output side, so that when you select this gear, that part slides over, and these selector dogs here are what engage with the inside of that collar there. That slides over. I'm not going to do it now because the balls will pop out probably. And that slides over, and then that becomes fixed to the main shaft with that. So the drive then goes round and through that gear and out. And then when you swap it over and you go back into neutral and across over into third, because this is only a 3-speed box, I should have mentioned that. Once it goes over into third, then the drive is taken straight through. that's engaged then with the main shaft, and it takes the drive straight away. And obviously then when you want reverse on this particular gearbox, that gear moves along the main shaft and engages with this gear, which is in permanent mesh with that one, and it engages, and that reverses the rotation, because the rotation, if the engine's going, yeah, it's rotating that way, that way, and then that's going that way, which then turns that one the opposite direction, which gives you a reverse at your wheels. Apart from that, I think that's all to do with the gearbox now. Obviously when I've got the new parts, I'll do a video of me reassembling it, and then we'll see how we go. We'll do a bit of a road test on it when it's done. If you like it and you want to hear any more, please like and subscribe. Thanks very much. See you again.